Yo, the title of this video is not clickbait. Let me explain why. In isolation, this was an awful performance and result. Even though it's not far from the team that I expect to start against Serbia on Sunday, it looked like a team that was just thrown together. And in many aspects it was. It was the first time that this back four had played together. Cole Palmer, Kobbie Mainoo, Anthony Gordon and Mark Gahey have only been recently added to the squad, and their star midfielder, Jude Bellingham, was absent. However, I prefer to discuss this performance from a tactical point of view, and tactically I thought they were atrocious. It felt as if they were just told to go out and play, and the lack of structure was baffling. I couldn't tell how they were trying to progress the ball from the back. Their press was completely disorganised, and they just looked like they were attacking without understanding how they planned to break down the disciplined low block of Iceland. Look at Declan Rice and Kobbie Mainoo for Iceland's goal. Rice is one of the furthest players forward, and Mainoo is in no man's land. These are your two double pivots in midfield. Iceland actually drew the England press, and from a standard third man run that wasn't tracked by anyone in a white shirt, he's running at the English central defenders. Sure, John Stones and Aaron Ramsdale could have done better, but when a team like Iceland, who haven't even qualified for Euro 2024, can create genuine goal scoring opportunities at ease against the favourites to win the tournaments, you're in huge trouble. For me, that's on Gareth Southgate and how he chose to set his team up. When they were building attacks from the back, sometimes Declan Rice dropped in between the two central defenders only to pass it sideways and return to his original position. Sometimes Walker stayed in the back three, and sometimes both fullbacks pushed up when either John Stones or Mark Gahey were on the ball. If there was a structure that they intended to build up on, it was completely lost on me. You could even see Kieran Trippier pointing and shouting at players, telling them where they should be in this phase. It all looked so off the cuff, and they looked like a side that hadn't been properly coached. Patterns of play are important, especially when you're trying to break down a team protecting what could be a famous victory in a really well organised low block. There are some well established principles when it comes to breaking down a low block. Purposeful possession with tempo, purposefully moving the opposition to one side with the intention of sharply switching the play to the other side to create advantageous 1v1 situations in wide areas, and the interchanging of positions in the forward line. England did a lot of things right in the final third. Anthony Gordon and Cole Palmer in particular did manage to face up and beat their opposition fullback, only for the quality of the crossing to let them down. Although Palmer did play a gorgeous ball to Harry Kane in the first half, only for him to uncharacteristically fire over the bar from close range. Cole Palmer also made several clever runs across the backline and in behind, but again the final ball was the issue. A lot of the crosses weren't actually bad crosses, it was just that Harry Kane was the only target. The winger on the opposite side and Phil Foden weren't exactly breaking their necks to get into the box. So why do I think this result was a positive one? Well, first of all, hopefully Southgate and his coaching staff recognise that when they do attempt to play more free-flowing attacking football, like they did against Iceland and Brazil in particular, they look disorganised and far too vulnerable in defensive transition. I mentioned in my previous video specifically about Gareth Southgate and his tactical approach that international managers don't get a lot of time with their players compared to club managers. They have a lot less time to drill patterns of play, to work on their shape and to prepare for specific scenarios. To take this well-drilled, compact, more conservative England side and suddenly mould them into an attacking outfit before a major tournament that they have a genuine chance of winning is naive. Not to mention, this approach does not suit international football, especially tournament football. Who was the last team to win the European Championship with free-flowing attacking football with a high line and an aggressive press? Another reason that I personally think that this is a positive result is perhaps it tempers the expectations a little, and it might help the casual fan who thinks that this England team should be playing sexy Samba-style football to appreciate the upside of being more structured and conservative. It's not boring, it's not negative, it's the best way to approach a major international tournament. I think last night's result will or should help people appreciate the importance of a Conor Gallagher or Jordan Henderson in midfield. When you do have so many top-class attacking players on your side, they do need to be complemented by high-energy, hard-working and disciplined midfielders. You can't just play Jude Bellingham in this position because it looks good on paper. I think if Southgate wants to tweak this well-established system to improve them going forward, bold decisions such as dropping Kyle Walker for Trent Alexander-Arnold and playing a more defensive player at left-back like an Ezri Konsa, for example, might be an option worth exploring. But the mid-block, the compactness of the team and the situational pressing should remain as it was. Is Gareth Southgate going to take more risks in this tournament? His squad selection and how they've attempted to play in recent friendlies would suggest so. but I do think we will see a more traditional Southgate-like approach against Serbia, and to be honest, I think it's for the best. That's all from me. If you want to see a more fleshed out breakdown of Gareth Southgate's tactical approach and how I think England will set up in this tournament, then please do check out my previous video in which I do explore many of the opinions that I expressed in this video in a lot more detail. Please do like the video and consider subscribing for more football related content, including covering all of England's games in the upcoming tournament. And lastly, let me know your thoughts in the comments section. What did I have said do you agree with, what do you disagree with, and how do you think England will line up on Sunday? Thanks for watching.